Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah. Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this move in the back of a can. Put the big around the world and the holes in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. It's a popcorn world. It's a popcorn world.
You're now listening to the Brothers of the Five. At shooting guard, it's your boy, Killer Cam. At small forward, it's Reggie Love. At point guard, C Major. At power forward, Al B. And at center, Mr. Noise, Lloyd Spence. And now, the Brothers of the Five. Add one more plus me into the five. Yeah. Keep it on the floor.
We are glad to be with you tonight. Some unexpected changes tonight, but nevertheless, we are holding it down. Me and C Major in the building. C Major, what's up with you? You good? Uh-oh, can't hear you. Y'all muted and whatnot. Let's see if he can figure it out.
Yeah, my bad.
There we go.
Yes, I'm good, man. I'm good, man.
That's what's up, man. Good to see you, brother.
Likewise.
Got some last minute things happening here, but it's all good. It is all good. C Major's over there, right there, I believe. Yep, I'm here. This is the Five. We headed toward the summer months, and so when the summer months, some of our brothers get busy. You know, things are going on, and so the family commitments. We're a family-based company, so family commitments sometimes will get us over everything. But we're here tonight.
Yes,
we're here tonight. We're glad to be here with you guys tonight. And man, we're here under what I would consider not shocking, but shocking kind of details tonight. Like, I mean, we do pretty well with predictions on this show. I don't know if we do this well. Like not many people in the country got this one right.
Yeah.
But you know, we're gonna talk about what just went down in the second round of the NBA playoffs. But before we do, I do want to give you guys information on a developing story. If you are like me and you are watching the WNBA because you have always watched the WNBA and you are a fan, and not just because Caitlin Clark is playing all the time, but she is playing tonight. And the development story is that she hurt her ankle just a few minutes ago. Twisted it up pretty good. It wasn't that she didn't step on anybody's foot. She didn't jump up in the air and land on the wrong way. She was merely just running. And
somehow you call those non-contact injuries, huh?
Huh?
You call those non-contact injuries, huh?
It was definitely a non-contact injury. You know, we were saving the Caitlin Clark to our fourth question on tonight, but we probably need to just go ahead and get that question in and a little bit anyway, and then we'll come back to the fourth question at the fourth time. But we do want to talk about Caitlin Clark just a little bit. How do you think it's going, Chad?
In what way? Because the team way, it's not going too good.
Well,
Well,
the whole thing, just specifically her. How do you think it's going for her?
well,
I don't know. You know, talk about who has the best. You know, like, just her. How do you think it's going?
she's putting up numbers for sure. In the last couple of
Is she
games.
the highest scorer?
She's put up the first game. She put up 22.
Oh, I think you confused it. The first game she got 9.
Okay. Yeah, I got to make sure. 9, and then she rebounded back with 22. She rebounded back with 22. But based off of the main people that we paying attention to, Angel Reese's, Rakia. I'm just saying, based off of based off what I've seen from her. Based off what I've seen based off what I've seen from her, it's a lot of entitlement. My bad. I hit the button. Sorry. I'm talking with my hands.
I got you.
It's not gonna be like it was in college. So I mean, her team had the number one pick for a reason, and they still don't have a win. So I mean, it's not a good start, but it's still it's still early. It's like the second, third game. So I mean, it's not going off to a good start, but the WNBA probably needs her to get to a good start to build, this anticipation and what they're trying to do. But I don't think her being the savior is working out right now.
Okay. And listen, I understand why. I know why Chad wanted to do the comparison, and I know why he's hesitating. Because all of America is hesitating if you're in the media talking about Caitlin Clark right now. But I've never been one to hesitate. I'm just going to say what everybody's thinking. It's not going great. It's not going great. And the reason why it's not going great, and I just heard shout out to Andrea Carter, the great Andrea Carter, who does a phenomenal job on ESPN. And she too is walking that line of how to say it. And tonight it was the best one tonight that I heard her do was, it's really important for them to get a good training camp before the season starts. And I think the WNBA is going to have to figure out how to get them a good training camp before the season starts. Let me translate that for everybody watching here tonight on the Five Nations. It's not going well. And the main reason it's not going well is because Caitlin Clark has spent her entire probably middle school and high school and college life playing in offenses that are catered to her skill set. And that has not required her to truly play the type of team ball that it requires to win real championships on a professional level at the highest level. She has always been the reason why her teams won. She has always been the reason why her teams put up big numbers. She has always been the reason. And right now, she is playing what I would describe as a very horrific style of team basketball.
Let me ask you a question.
Much like the Iowa style of team basketball that she was playing, which is to say, it wasn't very teamish at all.
Let me ask you a question.
In the pips.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Yeah.
if she was on another team, say like the Las Vegas Aces,
Okay.
how would things be different based off her coaches, her coaching?
Yeah, she'd be on the bench.
Say it again.
She'd be on the bench.
To be on the bench.
She
Okay.
wouldn't be playing at all. They would put her in as maybe a 6-man novelty kind of thing. Let her shoot a little bit, just to shoot. Which by the way, is not a bad plan, because you're asking a kid who never has done this, never played this style of basketball before in her life, to start playing total team ball when she's never had to do that. She's probably had the ball in her hands on the teams that she's played on in her life no less than 80 to 90% of the time. And that is, we both know that ain't going to work in a professional setting. Tonight, she literally tripped over her own 2 feet trying to get around a pick. But the other day, she ran slam into a pick and that was set by Breanna Stewart and got knocked on the ground. And let me say something to all of the people out there who are saying the WNBA set her up and they set her up to fail. No, they didn't. You know what they did? They scheduled games, which is what you're supposed to do. When you put together a schedule for a professional team, you schedule the games. And guess what? You schedule the games against some of the best competition. You know why? Because you want to see the best players, or the so-called best players, play against the best competition. That's how sports work. It's worked that way since the beginning of televised sports time. And so this is no different. She's being treated no differently than any other player in the history of sports is being treated. But she is different in the sense of, we've never seen a player with her ability come into the league and have to live up to such, dare I say, ridiculous expectations coming out of the women's game. The closest person I can think of that had to live up to those to crazy expectations was Candace Parker, or maybe Diana Taurasi, or maybe Breanna Stewart. But it was never like this. It was never at the fever pitch that this is.
Why do you think that? Look like Sabrina Ionescu has a similar game
She
to
does.
Caitlin Clark.
She does.
Why didn't she get this much hype coming out?
Because Sabrina Ionescu didn't have the same type of game that Caitlin Clark does. Sabrina Ionescu played a strong team basketball when she was in college. So she understood how to get her shots, but also how to make her team better. But also, and I mean, and here's what I mean by, because some of you said, well, so did Caitlin. Caitlin, he had all those assists, that, the other. But it's a different kind of flow with Caitlin. Caitlin will come down and almost at half court and shoot a 35-footer. Sabrina Ionescu could do that, but she wasn't doing that like all the time.
Yeah.
So, and she understood how to flow within the flow of the offense. With Caitlin Clark, she is the offense, and she was the offense at Iowa. If Caitlin Clark didn't score, they didn't win. It was that simple.
Yeah.
So and by the way, Sabrina Ionescu struggled the first couple of years. Like, she struggles. And first of all, she didn't play the first year at all because she got hurt. Then the second year, she came back and she had a nice adjustment period. Same with Kelsey Plum. See, I am a student of the women's game, so I can talk to you about a lot of these players' entry point. You can talk about the same thing with Dana Evans for Louisville. You can talk about the same thing with Breanna Stewart. Breanna Stewart, because she went to a good team, she didn't struggle as much, but she had her, okay, let me get adjustment moment, just like everybody else, just like Diana Taurasi, just like everybody else. Usually you don't come to the league and you dominate right off the bat. And Caitlin is not going to dominate right off the bat. She's going to have to learn what it means to play a team game, what it means to truly get her team involved. Because if you go look at the stats of that game that you're talking about with the 22 points, yeah, she got 22, 7, and 8. But I think she still had 8 turnovers. And I think I'm not sure anybody else in her team scored in double digits. And here's the thing. You got 4 players on that starting lineup from last year who all were double-digit scores up to and including the Rookie of the Year in Aaliyah Boston. So there should be no reason why they shouldn't be better if they were playing the same type of team ball that they were last year. But they're not, because she doesn't quite understand that yet. And the problem is she's having to learn all of this on the fly. And I mean, it is tough. It has been tough. It's actually kind of painful to watch. Because, I watched the Liberty game this weekend, and she was coming down doing classic Caitlin Clark stuff and pulling from almost half court. And every time she did it, it was a fast break 2 points or a 3-pointer for the Liberty. And they got up 20 just on her misses.
But that's coaching, isn't it? That's coaching, you can't let her do that. You can't let her do that.
Well,
you have to have her play the team ball. She needs to be able to study Sabrina and see how she does it. But I think that's a lot of coaching, right?
Well, that's a great point, Chad. And I am very much hoping that she will get the coaching that she needs, but also I hope that she gets the coaching that she needs, but also she will seek out the expertise, if you will, or the wisdom of some of the other players. Now, she hasn't had time to do that for an off season yet, but I'm hoping that she will, and I'm hoping she gets picked for the Olympic team this year, because that will help her game. That'll take her game to exactly where it needs to be, playing with the Olympic team. But I'm hearing, I heard a rumor that the Olympic team coach don't really like her that much. I mean, I'm just being honest. Now she doesn't get to pick who's on the team, the Olympic coach. It's going to be picked by the committee. So I'm hoping the committee will put her on the team in spite of her. And then that way she can be around the best of the best, and she can see how team ball is supposed to work. Yeah. But listen, it's still early. I say all that to say it's still early. And last thing, and then we'll go, because you said something that I wanted to key in, and I lost the train of thought. Now I'm back to it. You said her privilege, and what was the word you used? There's a word you used. It wasn't privilege though. It was something else. Entitlement. Yes, I completely agree. And by the way, for those who are big Caitlin fans, and this is angering you, I need you to hear what we're saying. We're not saying entitlement in the sense of like a white privilege type thing. We're saying entitlement as in that her coaches catered the game to her, and she's a little spoiled, and it comes to the game of basketball. And that is problematic because you can't play that way. The ball can't be in your hands only. And you make all the decisions. And you decide when somebody shoots and when they don't. And you come down and shoot on a 5-on-5, and you shoot. You're not Steph Curry yet. You haven't earned the right and trust of your teammates to do that. So that comes over time and trust. And so it's she's got to learn this. It's going to be a long road, and I wonder how long it's going to take her to get there. That's the real question, Chad. But like I said, I think if she goes and she plays on the Olympic team, they'll definitely help her get some act right. They'll definitely help her get some act right, and then that'll hopefully translate back to when she comes back to her team. But yeah, it's a struggle right now. It's a
Who's the coach on USA? Who's the coach?
I believe the coach is the coach for the Minnesota Lynx.
Oh, okay.
She's the coach. I forget her name. I apologize. But I believe she's the head coach for this year's Olympic team. So
I sure would like Don Staley to be in that position, though.
It would be nice if Don was there. Don would definitely also help her get some act right. I'm not sure I ever asked Don to do it. That's a great point you just made there, sir.
Yeah.
Because Don would be an excellent and highly respected coach for the Olympic team, especially since she is an Olympian. So, yeah, that would have been great to have her out there doing her thing. But like I said, it'll be interesting to see where this goes. But yeah, Kate's got a long way to go. She's got a long way to go. But all these people, I think it was Jeff T was talking about, man, y'all gotta let her win some games and let her reschedule and get the schedule right because she's bringing the people to get the money into the building. And I understand what he was trying to say. I just think he sounds crazy saying it because you can't, it can't do that. We can't throw games just to accommodate Caitlin Clark. That doesn't even because for all that you say validates the game, it invalidates the game. We're just handing her wins. So now you're saying the league was no good until she got there. That doesn't make any sense. So
At all.
long way to go for Miss Clark and her squad. But hopefully they'll get there soon. They're playing better tonight against the Connecticut Sun, which is one of the better teams in the league. They're playing much better. They're only down by 4. So we'll see. Maybe they can start to turn this thing around. But okay. All right, Chad, let's get into it, man. During the playoffs, we take question one and question one and question two, and we put them together. So, Chad, where do you want to start, man? Do you want to start at the 2 game 7s last night in the West and the East? I'll sit back and let you go, brother.
Yeah. The Mavericks squandered a chance to go ahead and take care of business.
Squad.
Squandered. Yeah, they should
Okay.
have been done. It should have been done. Should have been gone. Done.
Okay.
Should
All right. Squandered.
yeah, squandered. They should have
Little
went ahead and took care of
disrespectful. Okay.
business. I mean, Shea is that dude. He definitely cemented himself as a star, definitely this year.
He is that.
Because I know they didn't want to. I know it's 7 game series, but I know Mavericks didn't want to go 8 games for sure because those boys were playing. No, that was impressive by Oklahoma City. With the way they battle tested, because I thought the experience of Luca and Kyrie and some of the guys that were on the roster that's been there, during the Western Conference Finals a couple years ago, that was gonna, kind of help them get through. But no, Oklahoma City played hard, and they definitely took them down to the brink. If it wasn't for that PJ Washington, no foul at the 3-point line.
Foul or no foul?
I think it was a foul. It was a foul.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if it was a 2 or 3, I don't know. But it was definitely a foul.
So you have more problem whether it was a 2 or 3 or not?
Yeah, I think it was a 3 because by looking at it, his feet were behind the line. But then I don't know if he was in the shooting motion. But
Right. Okay. Okay.
I think at that point, it was the call that needed to be made because it was foul. And PJ didn't do really anything the whole game, and then for him to get going within those last quarters, that was big because they're gonna definitely need him in the next round. On the other side, I think that well, let me go Denver, Minnesota. It's just Denver. I don't know. I don't know if they were just stifled by the Minnesota defense because their defense
You don't know? Did I you say you don't know?
I mean, the defense was good,
I
but
think you know. I think you know.
Denver scored on them though. They were up, even though they were up in a lot of those no times. It's just I don't know. I mean, ultimately the defense carried them to that win. Anthony Edwards played great. Conley, his leadership was very good, and Cat and Rudy, Rudy hitting shots that you don't even think he gonna hit.
Yeah, that turnaround jumper was insane.
So
That was just insane. I don't know how he made it. I still don't know how he made that shot.
if you know
Yeah.
that he made that, you kind of bet like the basketball gods are probably on their side,
You
right?
kind of felt like it was over. Yeah, I think everybody collectively in the nation saw that shot was like, yeah, they're gonna lose.
Yeah,
If Rudy
yeah,
didn't this,
for real.
they're gonna lose.
For
This
real.
one.
Now Boston, they did what they're supposed to do, and they're got a lot of rest now. It
Yeah.
was a lot of
Too
rest, so
much?
they it could be. It
We'll
could be.
see.
Well, if they're saying Porzingis may be back in the next couple of games, so that's good for them. But it could be some rust. Usually on the first game coming out to the series, you get kind of that rush factor. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
New York and Indiana. I mean, there's just too many injuries, and then Brunson got hurt, and then I mean, what we always say this: the team that's healthiest will go the
Yeah.
farthest.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what they kind of hit that wall, and I think they'll be back because there's going to be an off season, and
Oh
they'll
yeah.
find somebody. They'll find somebody to insert that
Absolutely.
lineup.
Absolutely. I'll start where you ended. I felt really bad for the Knicks because 1 through 12 they played about as well as you could play under some horrific circumstances. And when I say 1 through 12, I only really mean 1 through 7, and a possible because there was just a couple of guys that just for whatever reason Coach Thibodeau just wouldn't play, but they still battled and kept fighting and kept fighting and kept fighting. But after a while, it just ran out of bodies, man. And then when Brunson, they were down by 10 in that game, and when Brunson slapped his, broke his hand and fractured his hand, we knew that was it. There was really not much more they could do after that. So you got to give the Knicks all the credit, but then you also give the Pacers credit. Man, they took care of business on their floor, and then they came out and listen. When Brunson was healthy in that first part of the game, the Pacers built their lead while he was out there. These lead while they was out there. So it wasn't like Brunson got up the game and then they built the lead. No, they were already up. And so you got to give them credit, man. They put their heart and soul in that game. They played phenomenally well. And I'm gonna tell you something. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to predictions in a minute. But I was impressed by the Pacers. I was really impressed by how they closed that game out. As far as Boston did what they're supposed to do. But again, they lost that one game that they weren't supposed to. I'm telling you, keep your eyes on this team going into this round and the final round. Because I just think this style of play against a better defensive team, the cracks are showing. The cracks are showing. So we'll see.
Are you saying that because you don't want them to?
Predictions.
Are you saying that because you don't want them to have more rings than the Lakers?
The fan in me is saying that for sure. The journalist in me is saying that because I see the cracks in the team, and we'll get into that in the next question. But I definitely don't want them to have more than the Lakers. Absolutely, there's no question about that. All right. On the West side, I do not think the Mavs blew it. I just think Oklahoma is a player away from being legitimately the number one team in the conference. They just need a big. They need a big desperately. And in some games they're able to disguise that because they're making their shots, but in that last game they were not. But yet they battled back. You got to give them credit because they battled back in that last game. I'm sorry, they took the lead in that last game, and they fought. They definitely fought and had a chance to win that game. So I just think they got to find a big, and maybe a point guard too, a backup point guard too, to help take a little pressure off of Shea.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be bad to have a veteran closer, somebody that knows how to close. You can put him next to Shea in the end, and then let Shea focus on just getting his shot as opposed to trying to involve everybody or whatever else. So
Do you have
I would
somebody in
probably look
mind?
at, huh?
Yes. Do you have somebody in mind?
I don't right now. I don't. I know we'll probably have a show here soon where we talk about off-season moves. In fact, we'll be talking about off-season moves probably tonight, baby. But I don't yet. But I don't know. We have to think. I have to think about that. And then, of course, what I thought was the very best series of the first round, Minnesota and Denver. And I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna say what I thought it was. The last two games, Minnesota took those games. I don't think it had anything to do with Denver. Anything. I think the only mistake I think Malone made is that he overplayed his hand in that last game, and he pushed Murray and Joker too far in that game. And because Joker, I think he played, if I'm not mistaken, he played either 46 or 47 game minutes out of the 48. Well, man, come on. I mean, I know that's your He-Man. I know that's your Mr. Everything.
47.
But bro, everybody gets tired. And some of them
47.
and some of them shots that he was missing in that game was fatigue shots. They were fatigue shots. And so and Murray, he had nothing, like he gave you a solid 24 in the first quarter, so you can't be completely mad at him. But man, he did that when Anthony Edwards wasn't guarding him. When Anthony Edwards started guarding him, that next 10 was he struggled through that. And so
it was the bench. I think it's the bench that also didn't show up really either.
Well, and that was gonna be my last thing. I didn't realize until after the game, although you did see it in the game, but you really didn't. It's like you saw them missing, but I don't think we all cognitively realized how bad they were playing until after the game, and you realize, oh snap, nobody else really scored double digits, and the only person that got even close to double digits was Porter with 7. So they played really bad. Like they didn't. The defense of Minnesota in that second half rose to a place that I was like, wow, that's the defense from the sixth game and from the second game. That's that defense. And so I give Minnesota the credit, man, they deserve. And let me tell you something, bro. I know people are going to say Jaden McDaniels balled out. He did because he led all scorers with 23. I know people are going to say Cat did his thing. Because Cat was dominant inside, and he took it to Joker, especially that second half, because Joker was fatigued, and Cat took advantage of that fatigue. He took it to his body and pushed him, and so he did all things. But bruh, shout out to Naz Reid. I don't think they win without that 2 or 3 minute stretch where Naz Reid just did everything. Like he had an assist, and he had 2 blocks, and he had 2 putbacks, and he had the key critical 3 out to Anthony Edwards, and shout out to Anthony Edwards for saying, you know what, my shot ain't there tonight, but you know what I can do? I can lock Murray up, I can make these assists, and then I can hit key shots when I need to. Shout out to him for making the right plays at the right time in the game. So I just think they took it from him, man. Coach Malone, don't be no punk, bro. Don't be no punk.
He's a sore loser.
Last night. It had some band activity going on. Some real band activity going on last night. Because you
it's
can't.
All good when it's good, but it's all bad when it's bad.
And all that. And then when we trying to get to the bottom of why you lost, you want to. Oh, that's a stupid question. Nah, man. Act like a man. Yeah. Be a man about yours. Be a man about yours.
Take a sore loser, man, for sure.
See, it's all fun and games till the rabbit get the gun, ain't it? So all right, so that's how I thought about everything. I thought that Minnesota Denver series, man, I don't think we could have got anything better out of that. That was
Yeah.
7 fantastic games.
And the fact
7
that both of
weird
them
games.
games went 7 games is crazy.
Yeah, it was 7 weird games, very very strange games, but 7 good games nonetheless. I'll take that. Okay, let's jump over to question 3, which is where's this going, man? Because we got a face off, and the reason why we call tonight's show face off is because the so-called face of the league, Nikola Jokic, is out, yo. And LeBron is 40, yo. And Steph is 35, 36, yo. And KD is lost in the sauce, yo. So we need a new face of the league. Who is the face of the league? And you got to believe that one of the 4 teams, one of the stars of the 4 teams, is probably going to take that spot. So who's it going to be, Chad? Is it going to be Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown? Is it going to be Tyrese Halliburton? Is it going to be Luka or Kyrie? And wouldn't it be a story if Kyrie stepped back into the spotlight? Oh my God, it'd be crazy. Or is this league set up, if all the stars align, set up for Anthony Edwards to take the throne at 22?
Well, I said this on a prior show, and we talked about it. We've thrown it back and forth.
Yeah.
I think Anthony Edwards is going to be that guy. I think he's going to be that guy. Is he going to win this year? I don't know, but he's going to be that guy. He's going to be that guy.
Okay.
Somebody is going to get a ring this year that they haven't got a ring. I think, I don't know. My heart is telling me the Mavericks.
Is that the heart?
My heart is telling me the Mavericks.
I think your heart is telling you want the Mavericks to do it.
I mean,
you're in the great state of Texas, so I understand. I probably would want the Mavericks there too if I was still in Texas.
It would be cool to have them go ahead and win. But you can't discount Boston on the other side, and they have 2 of the guys that's been there before. Experience does matter. Going into the playoffs, going into the West Conference Finals, they know what to expect. The lights are bright. I tend to lean on experience. And Luka's been to the Western Conference Finals. Kyrie's been to the Western Conference Finals and the Finals. So I tend to lend on the experiences of those players and those teams to be able to get to the next level.
All right. So you going Boston, Dallas? Okay. All right. That's
and it has a little backstory because Kyrie was in Boston.
Yeah.
So a little bit more storylines.
Got a little bit of a full circle moment there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm a little different. While I do agree with you that experience can help, and I think in one regard, in the Eastern Conference, Boston and Indiana, I think the experience of Boston is going to play some level of into this, as in them possibly getting to the next level. But let me say this: this is not a wash for Boston. I don't think this is a wash for Boston because I feel like there's something not quite right with Boston. I don't like. I've said this all season long. I don't like the style that they play in, and 1,000%. When they're hitting their threes, it's great. They're practically unbeatable. But when they're not, they're not. And all it takes is for a team who's truly committed to defense to run them off of the 3-point line, and all of a sudden, 3 out of the 5 guys that they count on are now nullified. Well, guess what? Miles Turner can absolutely guard Porzingis. He absolutely can. Um, um, now Jason is a bit of a problem, but because I don't know if T.J. McClain can guard Jason Tatum, but it'll be interesting to see.
Would
But
you do Siakam on Tatum? Would you give Siakam?
I probably would. Although I think Tatum is a little quicker than Siakam, but I definitely would probably move Siakam to that spot. But I'm saying there's some matchup challenges for Indiana, and so I don't know if it's the cakewalk that I'm hearing some people say 5 game. I don't know about 5. I'm going to, and we also know Indiana plays much better at home than they do on the road. And all they got to do is hold home court and win one, just like they did in this last series. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Boston wins, but it's not. It would not shock me if Indiana upset them. Would not shock me at all. So I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. So on the other side, I'm gonna call it. I just don't see a path. The advantages that Dallas had against the Thunder, they don't have those advantages anymore.
Mm.
And the advantage was they had a better front court in total than what the Thunder had. They do not have that advantage this time. And Gobert can now come back to the series because they don't have a player. There's not a team other than Miles Turner in the rest of the playoffs that will intimidate Gobert going forward. There's no big that can intimidate him going forward. He can play against a Porzingis. He can play against a Miles Turner. He can definitely play against Gafford, and he's going to have the advantage against likely. So and they don't have an answer for Cat. They don't have an answer for that. So I think the defense of Minnesota is going to be the difference in this series. And I'm going to take Minnesota in 6. I just think Minnesota's defense, if they bring the defense they've been bringing, I just don't see a path for the Mavs to go get to Minnesota and go get 2. I just don't see it. And I believe what you call it can get the games they need to get. So I'm saying Boston, Minnesota, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not confident in my Boston pick.
Yeah.
I'm not
Well,
confident in my
we all know that I don't like the coaching over there, so
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not a fan. So ironically, we were talking about Caitlin Clark a minute ago, and they are actually playing better in this fourth quarter. The score is 76-75. The Fever are down by 1. They just gave Caitlin Clark a technical, which she's got to stop the pouting, and then this is a part of that growth process that she's got to start growing up. But she's hit a few shots, so she's playing better. But if you had to say for the first week, who is having the better first week? Who would you say? Would you say it's Caitlin, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, or other?
I'm going to say Angel Reese is having the better week. She's almost had 2 double doubles the last no against the Wings. And she's playing pretty good. She's even though I think they did win, so that I think they're 1-1. I
Ooh,
think that
yeah, the Sky. Yeah, they won. They won.
Sky's 1-1. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
out of all the other teams, I don't think all the other teams have gotten a win. But I mean, as far as her being consistent, the first 2 games, I think that she's having a pretty good start.
I'm going to have to split my vote and say it's a tie. I really like what Cameron Brink is doing, which I kind of knew that her game would translate very, very well. But also, I have to be honest, I'm very surprised that Angel Reese has come out the gate so well. I thought that without Carmela Cardosa being out there, that her game would be a little bit of a struggle to start, and it's not. She is on the boards now. She's not shooting the ball well, which she's not yet a shooter anyway. Although I know she's been working on it. She's not shooting the ball that well yet, but she definitely is hitting the boards extremely well. She is becoming a rebound machine, and that toughness that she had in the college game, she brought it. She has brought it to the professional ranks in the WNBA, and so I got to give her all the credit in the world, man. Shout out to Angel. And then also like Angel's Kayla's teammate Martin. I think it's a teammate. She played well in her first moment with the Aces. She had some good moments in that game, and so I think she's going to be a nice complementary player. I believe that's where her role is going to be in the WNBA. Just really a nice complementary player on whatever team she lands on. I don't think she's ever going to become that great superstar player, but listen, there's something to be said about doing your job, and she
Yeah.
she did her job the other night. So shout out to her for doing her job. So
Do you have a problem with only 13 of the 36 draftees are on the roster? You have a problem with that?
um,
Do they have to open up more roster spots?
well they're trying to get to the place where they get more teams. They really are, and so listen, there's only 12 teams. That's 144 players. Everybody ain't gonna make it. And these women are fighting for their lives right now. So yeah, I don't love that a girl can get drafted in the WNBA and not make a roster, but that's until they continue to expand. This is where they are. Shout out to the Golden State Valkyries. Hopefully they'll get that team up and running next year, and there's 12 more spots. So it's what it is right now. The league has grown slower probably than everybody would have liked it to grow. But that's what we have. And I actually have a theory about how this league can grow. I don't know if you're interested in it, but
Sure. Yeah, of course.
okay. So I'm not saying this to be condescending, but I'm just trying to see how this league could get more visibility and growth. And I think it can't really grow without the assistance of the NBA. So here's what I'm proposing. I am proposing that rather than try to stuff them in between the NBA season and the NFL season, why not put them in the shadows, or not necessarily in the shadows, but in the spotlight of the NBA season right after the All-Star break, and have them play at least 20 games a la high school basketball style. So remember back in the day, whether you're in middle school or high school, the girls' game would be before the guys' game. Well, why not let the guys, why not take 20 games? We're just talking about 20 or 30, 20 games, and then let them play 20 games on their own. But 20 games, let them play 20 games as the lead-in to a NBA ticket to their city counterpart, and the girls' varsity team, if you will play their game in a fully seated 18,000, 20,000 basketball arena, and then they play 20 games on their own. And then You let them play the playoffs in concert with the NBA playoffs on the off days, or as maybe off days or lead-ins to some of the NBA games. But try to blend them in as opposed to separating them. At
Yeah,
least until the league gets strong enough to stand on its own for real and make type money on its own.
I
That's
think
just
on
my
that end, I think
huh?
on that end, I mean, I like your idea, but on that end, I think it's a lot of logistics, as far as logistical problems on that.
No, I
Uh,
agree. It can be challenging to pull it
yeah,
off,
but I
but
love the
I
idea
think
though.
huh?
I said I love the idea. It's just I
Not to
think the
mention, I think some of the women will be highly offended. But I'm trying to help you get paid though, so you don't have to
yeah,
go overseas and play basketball anymore.
yeah,
That's all I'm saying. And you got to get more. The way you get paid is you get more eyeballs and more sponsorship into your league, and you can't get that without visibility. And if companies are refusing to allow to get involved in the league for whatever reasons, then it makes it very difficult to grow the game the way you want to. And then you can never get those 7 or 8 other teams you want to get. Um, so that, like you said, Chad, ladies aren't being cut. That got drafted. You got dressed up and had your great draft day, and then you didn't even make the roster. That's crazy.
that's
So
crazy.
yeah. We doing a 4B for y'all tonight, man. And we headed toward the off season for a lot of teams. Our 2 teams that we support here on the Fire are in the off season, and also in the off season of the NFL. Shout out to OTAs that started today. Um, so I asked the question. I asked Chad, or Chad asked me, was there a trade that would fix your team this season? And so, Chad, I'm gonna ask you, Cowboys and Warriors, is there a trade to fix the Cowboys and the Warriors? And if so, what is
Uh,
that trade?
well, I'm gonna start with my Cowboys. To fix the Cowboys, I think we still need a running back.
Okay.
So the running back that I think that could work is Najee Harris. I
Najee
think
Harris.
Najee Harris out of
Is he a free
Pittsburgh.
agent?
He's not a free agent, I don't think, but I think we can trade for him.
Okay.
We can give up something for him because I think they signed a running back, and so I think he's going to be sharing carries with somebody. But I think he would be somebody that would be a good running back. He's still a young running back, and he can take those lead, even if they still gonna make Ezekiel Elliott the lead back. That tandem, I think both of them, be running hard. I think that tandem would open up a lot of things in that offense,
Okay. So
and it's
Najee
something that
Harris.
we ain't gotta get it. He ain't gotta be paid a whole bunch of money. I don't think his contract is just out of the wazoo that we're gonna be spending a whole bunch of money to take on this contract.
Okay. Okay. Um. So for the Giants, our obvious most glaring need is quarterback. Obviously. Um. I like the idea of snatching one of these backups away from a team that has too many backups, if you will.
You have a quarterback. You have Drew Lock.
No.
You have Drew Lock.
Well, Drew Lock is gonna compete for the job.
That's your
We'll see what he
quarterback.
does. But I would love to get somebody else in there like a Hendon Hooker. Is it Hendon Hooker? Is that his name, Tennessee kid?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Justin Fields. He's not gonna play in the Steelers unless Russell
Mm.
Wilson gets hurt.
Very good
Although
possibility.
he may outperform him. I doubt it, but he might.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind having him as a backup. But I think we got to get another quarterback to push Daniel Jones and to even give ourselves a chance. I just don't want to see us waste the talent that we're putting on the floor. I'm on the field this year. So I'd like to see us go get another backup quarterback. That's. I think we need a backup quarterback. I think we're going to address backup running back. We're going to do that, and possibly get another receiver. But we need a backup quarterback, a solid backup quarterback. So a veteran would be great at this time. So what about NBA? What fixes the Warriors?
Warriors need another superstar. We need a superstar. We have
Really?
one superstar. We have one superstar. And we have an ailing superstar. We need somebody to pair with Steph that's consistently a superstar.
Okay, who
That
you
could
go
be
get?
that could be only a couple people.
Okay,
I'm gonna say Paul George. I'm gonna say DeJounte Murray. I'm gonna say Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. Haven't y'all done
Kevin
that
Durant.
already?
And what did we do when we did it?
You did great, but that was 10 years ago.
Okay.
You gotta learn how to move on. See, you one of them dudes don't like to break up with people.
I listed him third. I listed him third. Okay. I said I, if that's the last resort, I would like to have Paul George because I still think he has a lot of basketball left in him, and I think him and Steph could work well together.
They work very well together. They
Or
they'd be
do
they'd be they'd be very very good. Paul George would be very good on a lot of teams. Um, so yeah, I agree with you on that. We got 84 time away. For those who are wondering what's going on with the Fever and the Suns, Rita Parsons just hit a shooting tie. One of the people wrong with who? Kevin Clark. See? All about growth. All about learning. Because you and it was a perfect hockey fan if I came Clark. So that was good. That was really, really good. So anyway. For the Lakers. Minnesota has taught me something. We need a coach that can truly hold the roster accountable. AD is going to be AD. LeBron is going to be LeBron. They're going to play at a high level all the time. Where I think Darvin Ham probably got fired at, when I watch the young guys at Minnesota play defense compared to the way we were playing defense against the very same team, it is apples to tires. Like, it's not the same. They gave a maximum effort for 48 minutes, whereas we did not. And therein lies the problem. We've got to make some roster change with probably D'Lo, probably Reeves. We need defense, people who are deep committed to the defensive side of the ball who can hit a shot. And because LeBron can't play a strong 48 minutes on the best player anymore. He can't be Anthony Edwards, but he can be a solid backside help defense and help AD on the backside of the defense as well, and help angles and block shots and stuff like that on the backside, help down the front line. We need a point guard and a shooting guard that can play defense. But then, do we need another superstar? It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. Because anytime that we can buy LeBron is helpful. Because that makes his 25 and 10 just that much more impactful. If he's getting it in the third and fourth quarter as opposed to the first and second. So with that being said, you heard the names that are floating out there are some of the same names you hear with Chad, Paul George, DeJounte Murray, of course. But I like the thought of Donovan Mitchell being there. I like the thought of DeMar DeRozan being there. Those are good names.
Trae Young.
I do not like the Trae Young name. We already have Trae Young. His name is D'Angelo Russell. Basically the same player, except shorter.
Yeah.
So I think we need because I don't know if Trae Young can't play under the bright lights of Atlanta, he damn sure can't play under the massive lights of Los Angeles. So no, I don't like that at all.
He may need to go to Oklahoma, where you said that they need another guard. He may need to go to Oklahoma. That's where he's from.
See, I think he would mess up the flow there. They got a good chemistry there, and I think you don't want to. You know who I think the guy would be, and I'm hearing rumors that they're ready to move off him already. Marcus Smart would be perfect in Los Angeles. Perfect, absolutely perfect. So I would love to see us get a Marcus Smart. Keep your eye on this one as well, Chad. Steven Adams is going to be on a 1-year, $12 million contract. That could be an interesting pickup for somebody.
Yeah.
Could be a very interesting pickup. Could be an interesting pickup for Oklahoma. Because that's all they're missing. Is somebody to get rebounds and dive to the basket.
Shoot,
and compete with
Golden State need them too. So Golden State need them too.
Well, we are talking about your team right now, so you're permitted to say that. We need them. If I'm just saying, I like Steven Adams in there, though. I was talking to some people and they were like, "No, y'all need Christian Wood to take the next step." Well, the next step for Christian Wood is health.
Yeah.
Can he be healthy? That's his next step. But I like having I like Steven Adams, the possibility of Steven Adams. I really like that. But the Donovan Mitchell thing excites me the most because he's got everything. And then that solves our long-term problems as well. I'd be okay with Brandon Ingram, but I don't love having Brandon Ingram come back. I don't love that.
Why is that?
So we'll just see how that unfolds.
Why you don't like Brandon Ingram coming back?
Out there that are interesting. What about Brandon Ingram in a Golden State jersey?
I like.
You okay with that?
Why you don't want him?
Because he's a ball stopper, and when Brandon Ingram's out there, he is basically going to shoot the ball. He's not going to make plays. He's going to shoot the ball, which is fine. But I think the teams that are winning championships right now are teams that are moving the ball and playing good team basketball. And I just think he's a ball stopper. You need him to you need somebody that can. Now in Golden State, maybe he would acquiesce because of Draymond being in his face saying, "Pass the ball, bro." But we don't have no players like that.
Yeah.
So I just think we just need it. That might be too much for us. So, all right. We just fixed our teams. You're welcome, NFL and NBA. Game 1, Boston, Indiana. Who you got? Who takes game 1?
Reluctantly, I'll say Boston. Reluctantly.
They get game 1?
Not 100%, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
60-40. Yeah. Boston.
60-40. Okay. All right. I'm gonna say Boston takes game 1 too. Fresh legs. I think they're gonna probably shoot lights out that first game. It's gonna take Indiana a minute to get used to the air in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a different air. than what they just went through. I think it's going to take them at least a game to get used to it, especially since the game is tomorrow night. So, game one Wednesday, Minnesota and the Mavericks. Who takes game one?
If, like you said, if Minnesota's defense travels and they didn't leave it in the last series, I think Minnesota could get this one.
Okay. So you're going Minnesota game one.
Minnesota game one.
All right. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think Minnesota's gonna come in hype and beyond on fire. Yeah, I'm gonna give Minnesota game one for sure. All right. This weekend we've got two WNBA games. The Sun in the Sky will play 7 p.m. on CBS, the local regional game in Chicago, CBS. Who you got? The Sun, by the way, just beat the Fever by 4. But the Fever looked better. They actually looked better. And Caitlin finally figured out that, hey, if I get Aaliyah Bowser the ball, she's pretty good. She can score too. So there you go. It's all about learning. All about learning. So Sun and Sky, who you got in that one?
I'm going to Sky.
Oh, okay. So you're going to upset. Sky get
Yeah,
the Sun. Sky get the Sun in Chicago. Cool.
Yes.
Saturday, the Fever will take on the Aces in Las Vegas. I'm going Sky. I'm going Sun. Sun go to 4-0.
Okay.
Fever and Aces. Will Caitlin and Aaliyah get their first win in Las Vegas?
No.
I also agree. It shall not happen. So there you go. Okay. And then finally, for you WWE fans out there, this weekend is the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. And so we don't really know yet who is going to be in the King and Queen of the Ring finals. But on the Raw side, Jey Uso and Gunther will battle it out for the final spot. And on the women's side, Lyra Valkyria, I think it is, she's new, and Io Sky will battle it out on the women's side. So who wins that side on the Raw side?
I'm going to go with Team Yeet on this one.
You're going Yeet and I like the way they're pushing Jay, by the way.
Yeah. I think Io Sky.
You're going Yeet and Io Sky? I like the way they're pushing Jay. I wonder if they're not setting Jay up for another bloodline moment because they love Gunther too. I think I'm gonna go the opposite. I think I'm gonna go Gunther and Io Sky for the Raw side, and then on the SmackDown side, I'm gonna go. The finals is gonna be, or the semifinals is gonna be Randy Orton and Tonga. And on the I forgot the other side. It's LA Knight, right? And who is the other person? That's the real question. I forgot who the other person is. It's LA Knight. No, Tama Tonga beat LA Knight. That's right. So LA Knight's out. So it's Randy Orton and Tommy Tonga. That's who it is. And then on the women's side, it's Bianca Belair and Who is she taking on? I forgot who she's taking on. Oh, Nia Jax.
Nia Jax.
Yeah, so who's taking it now? And those two.
Well, I don't think they're gonna have Tama Tonga win so early, so I'm picking Randy Orton on that one.
I'm thinking it's Randy Orton too.
This other one is kind of tricky.
Yeah.
Kinda tricky.
And then Nia and Bianca.
That's tricky right there. They've been trying to push Nia, but they haven't done a good job until now. So hopefully she'll get the push that she needs, and I think she'll get it.
I'm gonna say Nia too because I think they like where Jade and Bianca are, and I think they want to keep pushing them together for a little while. Here's the reality, and some of you who are wrestling fans are not you like what I'm going to say. Jade has all of the potential in the world. She has it. She's got the look. She's got the charisma. She's got the physicality. She's got the strength. She is not a great wrestler yet. Not yet. It's a lot of hand holding being done in the ring. For those of us who have been lifers and we study this thing with the WWE, not just for the entertainment, but on the business side and performance side, you can tell she's behind. Like AEW did her no favors. Like she's behind. And it's okay because she's gonna get it. She's definitely gonna get it. Especially the longer she works with Bianca. If she can work with Bianca for about a year or two, she'll be great. She'll be one of the best to ever do it. But
I think
right
it's gonna
now,
be a betrayal at some point. They're gonna be a betrayal.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's gonna betray somebody at some point. That's where we're headed. But and by the way, I'm okay with that. Like I'm totally okay with that. Yeah. But she's gotta learn the nuances of professional wrestling, which she doesn't have quite yet. And it's moving. I'm not going to say she's Caitlin Clark yet, but she's Angel Reese for sure. Like you can see the potential, but you can also see, girl, you need a little work. You need a little work. So
That's good.
It's coming though, but you can tell it's coming because she's got the character of Jade Cargill. She's got down pat. She knows that character inside and out. The wrestler, she's learning it still. She's trying to learn it still. So, all right. So, who's your king and queen of the ring based on who you just announced? Io versus Nia and Randy versus for you, Jay. You go who? You muted. You got muted. Yeah. Still muted, bro. Oh, there you go.
This laptop is doing some crazy stuff. Nia Jax.
You want Nia?
Nia Jax and I'll go ahead and go to Viper Randy Orton.
Okay.
Probably gearing up to do something with him. So
King Randy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna also co-sign Nia Jax as your new queen, because it just makes sense to put the crown on her. Yeah. And then, you know what? I hate to say it, man, but they took the belt off of Gunther. I just don't think they want Gunther out here naked. I think Gunther is either gonna win Money in the Bank or he's going to be king of the ring. And so whoever loses king of the ring is going to be Money in the Bank. So between Jay and Gunther, that's what I'm saying. That's my prediction. So I'm going to say Gunther gets king of the ring. He beats Randy Orton and he gets king of the ring. So there you go. So those are our 5 predictions, ladies and gentlemen, for this week. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to our brother Cam, who's dealing with some personal family stuff tonight. We sending our thoughts and prayers to him and to his family for everything to be all right. Amen. And then, of course, our brother Reggie, who is preparing to graduate. We call our niece Paris. She is graduating, preparing for college. So we send our thoughts and prayers to our brother. And also our brother Al, who's sending his baby girl off to graduation this week as well. A lot of graduates. And our brother Ron Nolan, who is sending his baby girl off to graduation this week. A lot of graduations this week with our 5 brothers. So shout out to all of them this week. Who you shouting out on a personal note, though, my brother?
First off, I'm gonna shout out my beautiful wife. Shout her out.
Shout out to the lovely Miss Major.
Yes. Strong person. Shouting out my little boy Mason, who wrapped up his first flag football season. So definitely
Was the MVP?
He's definitely defensive MVP for sure.
Definitely. Okay.
He had a pick 6 during the season, and he almost had 3 picks yesterday. They just wasn't too that close to grab, so he almost had 3 of them boys yesterday.
Okay.
And I think me and his grandfather talking about coming out of retiring and maybe coaching.
There you go.
The idea is thrown around, so we'll see.
All right, I like it.
Also, shout out, Cam in his absence, and Reggie in their absence, and shout out Paris and the whole Williams family and Alexander families for sure. Shout out you, bro. Always coming through. Definitely shout out you and your fam. Shout out the Harris family. Leah Harris also graduated. Faith Harris.
Yes, Faith. Yes.
Yeah, Faith graduated.
Congratulations everywhere.
So, there's a lot of 2024 graduates out there. So definitely, on to bigger and better things.
For sure. Oh, shout out to one of my business partners, Randy Raz, who graduated with his master's. He's actually graduating his master's as we speak. So, shout out to him. But I also want to give a shout out to somebody who was near and dear to my heart because he was one of the first wide receivers that I covered and one of the first photos that I was able to get at a bowl game. Devontae Parker, he retired from the NFL today after 9 seasons. He is taking it to the house. And so shout out to him and a great career. Anytime you get your mama out the hood, brother, that's a beautiful thing. So there you go. And then shout out to man. And then shout out to the NBA All Rookie team. First team: Chet Holmgren, Victor Wembanyama, Brandon Miller, Yami Jaquez of Miami, and Brandon Podziemski of Golden State. The second team: Derek Lively. I don't know why they call him Likely, but it's Lively. Derek Lively, Amen Thompson, Keontae George, Kason Wallace, and Gigi Jackson of Memphis. So shout out to the All Rookie team. All those guys had phenomenal years. Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama unanimous in the decision, and Brandon Miller only missed it by 1 vote. So I missed being unanimous by 1 vote. So shout out to them. But yeah, All Rookie team, we give them a collective shout out here from the 5. All right. Listen, another great show. We'll be back to do it all over again next Monday. That is C Major right there. He is the little bro, and he makes this show go. That's why it's so good. I am your host, Lloyd Spence. Appreciate you. We'll see you guys next week right here in the Eastern Conference Finals. Face off, y'all. Face off. Face off. Face it off the face.
Bye. plus 3. Add one more plus me and you got 5. Yeah. We keep it on the floor. And the funk plus 4 and you got 5. 5. I said before 1 and 9 is 10. And there ain't no stand on the 5. There's no denying it. This groove